Hello everybody, I have another cool game for you today. We have a pretty awesome match, again part of the Enter the Storm Qualifier, and it is Puszek team, the Polish team, going up against Meteormakers. And especially Meteormakers, of course, known for their aggression. Puszek team, a team that is just continuously getting better and really has great results on the European server. And the two of them meet today on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and we had a pretty sick draft. So the first thing that happened here is that Puszek team is starting to draft an Azmodan composition. They went into a Leoric, they got the Azmodan early on, and they even got Johanna, and it really looked like this is going to be the perfect setup. But there was a bit of a twist, since Meteormakers decided against Azmodan to play a double healer composition, therefore banning a healer out as well, and you all know what that means. Lili was the only healer that was available to Puszek team. So Puszek team with a pretty sick setup regardless. They have a good double front line with Johanna and Leoric, great heroes to make sure that Azmodan is getting his stack process going. Azmodan in the game, of course, and together with Azmodan we have Puszek team with the Khaldors. Lili as the heals. And on the other side, we have that double healer setup that I was talking about already earlier. So Meteormakers going into the double healer, they have an Leoric at the front line, and they decided to go into additional damage. We have them in this case not only with the Jaina, but they were also able to get the Falstad. And the Falstad is one of those picks that you don't see all that often on this map now in particular, but Meteormakers has been playing that hero quite a bit, and usually it's being played against a double tank lineup, which is exactly what Puszek is currently running, because they try to play a hero that relies on Season Marksman on level 1 for Falstad, and then also goes just in auto attacks and puts pressure on those two tanks. They don't have a lot of pushing power though, and that's a big problem for them right now. One of the things how you can actually deal with an Azmodan composition is to make sure that in the early game you have that presence to really push down structures, gain a level advantage, and then try to end the game before Azmodan becomes too strong. They don't really have that. They go for a different approach here, and especially the double heal is something that we've seen in the past and that was also successful. If they can really pull it off though with the combo that they drafted here, that's a completely different matter. So we're going to check out now who's going to take the game here. Is it going to be Meteormakers or Puszek team? Let's find out together. Tomb of the Spider Queen once again, and it is the Polish Puszek team going up against Meteormakers. And the setups are very, very good. Right now, we're currently seeing to the left side, Puszek on Leoric, we have Żuf on Lili, Rutzuf the Turtle, Oberim on Azmodan, Kreko on Khaldor, and it is Go Terror on Johanna. We are going to talk a lot about this setup. To the right side of the map, Meteormakers with Crisplosion on Uther, Remaballer on Jaina, Babeta on Malfurion, Blade on Falstad, and Tidaka on Leoric. There's so many things to talk about in this game, I don't even know where to begin, but let's probably just start with the composition that we see to the left side for the blue team, for the Polish team. They were drafting an Azmodan composition from the get-go, and they kind of profited a bit or capitalized on the fact that Meteormakers banned out Zagara. So one of the pushing heroes is already gone, or was gone, right from the beginning, and that is great when you're playing an Azmodan, because one of the weaknesses of an Azmodan composition is going up against a composition that is very good with a pushing power. So right now, actually in the mid lane, oh, there's a big battle happening, as we have a 5 versus 5. But what the Polish team was able to draft here is insane. They did not only get Azmodan, they were able to get Johanna and Leoric with Azmodan, which is amazing. They're starting with a stacking process already here. The only hero that can try and slow that down a bit is Crisplosion on his Uther with his heal, but even that is not gonna help them. But they could kill Azmodan, and that would really help, and they're getting the kill. Nice, well done here. But yeah, let's finish that thought a bit. So, slowing down the stacking process is something that they have to try and do somehow. And the heal on Uther is not going to be enough for that. We've even seen compositions with Uther and Tyrael not able to really slow it down for long enough. Azmodan at some point is going to get the traction that he needs. What really helps is an early kill against Azmodan, but that's actually the first time that I've seen a kill against Azmodan this early on in a game where the stacking process was started. So that was a bit of a blunder on the side of the Polish team. So let's see how they are going to deal with this. Of course, this early on the death timer is not too high, so it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, Oberim in this case has now the assistance of Leoric and Johanna, two of the tanks with the best lane presence in the game to get the stacking going. And he's already been slowed down a bit, so that was a great job on the side of Meteormakers. Meteormakers was forced into Lili thanks to the double heal that we're seeing for the opponent's team. Kill against Leoric. Nice pressure that they have all of a sudden. So well played by Meteormakers thus far. Their idea here was basically to just say, okay, we are going double heal so that in the late game Azmodan can be counteracted by our heal. They are up against the Khaldors now as well, though, so once that level 16 is hit, there's going to be so much AoE damage that's going to be very tricky for them to really deal with that, even with a double healer setup. It leaves them with two damage dealers, and that is a Jaina and a Falstad. And the Falstad actually surprised me a bit, since I expected them to go into another hero that has some siege damage as well. That would have been, for example, a Nazeebo, or it could have also been a Sylvanas. They decided to go into Falstad, and I guess the reason is that they simply want to apply some pressure to that strong double tank line that we're seeing for Puszek. They go into, in this particular case, they go into a build that we've seen already before, with level 4 Flow Rider taken on level 1, which is more important, Seasoned Marksman. And, well, Leoric using his Wraith Walk to get away here. But talking Falstad here, Seasoned Marksman is a very good talent on this map, usually used on Zeratul, which is very often banned out. It's just great because you can roam between two lanes and simply get those stacks together, and that's what they're doing. You might be a bit surprised that they are the ones to just rotate between the lanes, but that has two reasons. First of all, they're trying to screw a bit with the stacking process of Azmodan and just like counter push those lanes. And they also are currently making sure that Falstad is getting his Seasoned Marksman stacks. And with all the damage that he is going to be able to build up, once that he hits level 13 and has his own giant killer, he will be able to do a lot of damage against Gotaro's Johanna and against also Leoric. And once level 20 is hit, when he has Nexus Frenzy, the damage against these two tanks is going to be absolutely phenomenal. So that's one of the things that's definitely going to be a pretty big deal here. Both of the teams are on level 6 now. The problem just is still that the level 16 talent then later on is going to be extremely strong for Puszek, and they are going to have a very solid team. So the draft that we're seeing for Meteor Makers is at times a bit weird. I would have loved that Falstad idea, by the way, against any other kind of double tank composition. I just feel that Falstad is going to have a lot of problems with Azmodan in the later stages, since Azmodan is just super strong against it. So I'm not 100% certain if it was the best choice here for Meteor Makers with this particular composition that they're running up against, but in general I really like that thought process that they have with their Falstad. Talking Falstad, he's at 16 extra damage already. Okay, we're 4 minutes and 20 seconds into the game and they are already at 16 extra damage. Azmodan has by now 90 stacks, so even with that slowing down, with that early kill against him and that problem that he had with the stacking process, he's hitting 100 right now, just because of that preparation that we're seeing from Leoric and from Johanna with Condemn and Skeleton Swing. But it's still the blue team, sorry, the red team that is currently dominating those turn-in spots, and for good reason. That's always what you expect. So they have to try and capitalize on the early web weavers that they get here. Secret weapon still taken on level 7. So it's a very freestyle build, if you so want, on Falstad. It has actually a lot of sense still. Secret weapon is still taken. It's just that this Seasoned Marksman talent is so amazing on this map and on other maps as well that you can... yeah, you can actually just like let power throw go, even though it of course harmonizes or synergizes very well with your secret weapon here. So it's going to be a pretty dangerous Falstad. The later the game goes, the more talents he's able to pick up. Nice damage over here already. They are putting some pressure on Falstad, and that already shows that he is very much on the weak side when it comes to the hit points. The bot lane has been de-pushed now as well. Kreku could actually eat a Moonfire here. Not quite, but Beta was trying to get that in. So he is able to move back. We're seeing in the mid lane now Explosion with Tidaka again. It's only 2 kills against 0. Level 8 versus nearly level 9. That's what you expect when you're playing an Azmodan composition, that you're going to fall behind eventually. Lily, by the way, goes into a Serpent build here, not even using Shake It Off on level 7, which is the standard talent. We're having Lightning Serpent taken, and we're seeing the Mending Serpent. In the mid lane, they're fighting right now. Again, the Wraith Walk being used to get away here. Tidaka and Explosion were setting up a bit of a trap. On level 4, you have Hardened Bones for Leoric, which helps a lot, and Lingering Apparition with the increased duration of the Wraith Walk. Not something that we see too often. That's actually the first time that I've seen this picked in competitive play. So Chubek can go very, very deep and will still have an opportunity to move away here. Having both of these talents for Wraith Walk is going to make him very, very safe. Now they're going for Uberim again, and if they can get another kill against Asma, that would be amazing. But he gets away, at least for now, and they are pushing back Meteor Makers. And already damage for Uberim's Globe of Annihilation, putting that one in. Great talent choices here, by the way. I really like the small adjustments that they make. The push in the mid lane, Yeah, having Leoric and Johanna is great. Hidaka nearly dying here, and Blade is also low, and that's early on in the game, with the blue web weavers now already descending. Of course, the level 10 talent is going to be ready in just a few seconds for Meteor Makers, but still, Puszek team has a solid position here. Up to the top lane, you can see that the web weavers are doing solid work. We have Blade coming in for that, but he is going to lose 1 or 2 structures. That level 10 talent is now finally on the board. The problem that they have, though, is that that advantage and experience that they had earlier is nearly gone. Puszek is getting away here. Oh my god, like, he's actually able to escape. Wow, longest Wraith Walk ever. Now they have their 10s, and that means that Azmodan has finally his black pool that he can use. By the way, currently his stacks are at 194. So at level 10 he has 194 stacks. Falstad has, by the way, 25 extra damage already, 7 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. So both of them doing really well with the stacking. Azmodan with another quick globe up here to the top, and down to the bot lane, Kreku was dropping both of those towers, and we still have 57 gems for them. They can turn in again. Both of the teams, by the way, can. So both of the teams have an opportunity to turn in, but just look how good Azmodan can stack. Johanna on one lane, Leoric on the other lane, both of them preparing the waves, and then immediately the drop. Nice Wraith Walk here, can easily get away, for now at least, but Hidaka, there's the snipe, and they get the kill. Can Juf move in to get those gems? Yes, he can. Alright, so he gets the gems. The kill against Puszek is not too bad. I mean, if somebody dies, then it's better that Leoric dies than anybody else, because he's going to be back in just a few seconds. We have, of course, Entomb chosen by him. He wants to use that as a setup for Leoric's Orb of Annihilation. He's already starting to move. He gets rooted down. Crisplosion is trying to put pressure on Kreku. They're moving in the middle against Johanna. Blade, keep in mind that he is going to do a lot of damage later on with his auto attacks. That was a bit of a miss there, though. Those 3 points not hitting. If he hits Falstad and Jaina with this one, it's going to be a disaster for those two. But Puszek dying again. 4 kills against 0. Solid performance here again by Meteor Makers. Uberim not hitting that one globe there was definitely a big problem, because that could have done so much damage and forced Jaina and Falstad back. But the double heal is out healing everything that he put in so far. They need to hit those later levels. They need to make sure that they are getting Khaldor in a position where he can start to do some damage as well. So currently we have Blade still stacking up his Seasoned Marksman. At the top lane, Go Terror is waiting for the Condemn, and yeah, only uses the Punish, doesn't even have to use Condemn. At this point he's probably already doing so much damage on it that he's just waiting. So he's waiting for another globe that Azmodan can throw out right now. Azmodan focusing on the mid lane first. Great hits here by him. Good siege damage that he puts out on the board as well. I mean, we have currently 67,000 by him. That's the most siege damage that any hero has dished out in the games thus far. Very strong by him, though. But the first the first fort is now going to fall, and that brings level 13 into the hands of Meteor Makers. But you can really tell that they're not too far ahead, right? I mean, at this point, they'd killed one fort. They might get a second one, but they haven't threatened a keep yet, and we are already at level 12, nearly 13 for Puszek. We're seeing in this case a double ice block and the spell shield being used. Great talents to mitigate damage on Khaldor and Azmodan. And of course, Giant Killer is also ready for Falstad right now. So at this point, the tanks have to be extremely careful. That Giant Killer does a lot of damage to Johanna, to Leoric, especially with those Seasoned Marksman stacks. So Blade has to be one of the priority targets the longer the game goes. Looking at the damage once again, in Seasoned Marksman stacks, we're already having 33 extra damage. It's really adding up. We're only 10 minutes into the game. That's 33 extra damage already, and now of course multiplied with the Giant Killer and then later on with the Nexus Frenzy, that is just worth a lot. If we're talking Azmodan, then we're currently looking at 314 stacks already at the 11-minute mark, so also a very solid amount of damage that he's going to be able to bring to the table. A double spell shield for Jaina and also, Johanna and Leoric. So spell shield against Jaina mostly. And we're having now in the mid lane again everybody trying to just stack up again. Falstad on one side, Azmodan on the other. Azmodan is just everywhere pushing these lanes back. And they're doing quite well with this. They have a lot of gems, 63. We have 23 on the side of their opponents. Not really enough to get another turn in yet and get the third Web Weaver wave. But if Puszek gets into a position somewhere and can turn in again, that's all that they need here. Again, Uberim with the damage, and this is starting to really do work. More than 1,000 damage already. Wraith Walk being used to move away here. A bit more damage by Kreku. It's just a poke, but he went deep for this one. Here comes the shield glare, and Entomb. Nice. Trying to isolate one with Entomb, and they are going for Crisplosion. The March of Sin already used for the All Shall Burn. Juf on his Lily, trying to get the heals in. Uberim. He's moving back. Didn't apparently have the mana for the Globe of Annihilation when he wanted to use it. But they get the kill against Jaina. So they get a good kill here. It's the first one for them in the game. But it opens up an opportunity to turn in. And they are doing exactly that. And every single Web Weaver wave for the blue team is a very big deal now. The reason is that the blue team should be passive. Very passive. Because the whole strategy of the red team is to control the mid lane. To control the flow of the game. To have map control in general. And make sure that they get advantages with just delivering one objective after another. And now the second Web Weavers already in the game for the blue team. That just simply means that they buy themselves time. They buy time, they push out lanes, they might be able to kill a few structures, and time is all they need. They want to hit level 16, they want to hit more stacks for Azmodan, they want to make sure that Kel'Thas reaches his Ignite level, and that's all that they're currently doing here. So 4 kills against 1. It looks still like the red team is still very far ahead, but right now exactly what I've been talking about earlier is starting to happen. I'm very much afraid for Meteor Makers, because going into a double heal is a smart decision against such a team, but using the fall stat in this case against the double tank, in general also, again, a great idea, but against an Azmodan composition I just don't think that it's going to be what they need, because the whole idea of the way that they use fall stat is to reach the late game, and against Azmodan you kind of want to dodge the late game. You don't want to go into the late game. That's why most teams that play against Azmodan simply try and use push compositions to exploit that early game weakness. So against any other team I would love what Meteor Makers is doing here. Against this team though I feel it's a huge risk. Nice ice block on Jaina, by the way, dodging that particular one. Yeah, we have in this case, Chubek using his Entomb to make sure that that the rest of the team is getting away here. Oh, nice moves though. Oh, the damage against Kreku! And they get the kill against Kel'Thas. Really well done. That earlier level 16 talent is helping them here as well. Nice kill. That Kel'Thas kill was important. Here's level 16 now finally also for Team Puszek. The Polish team has now an opportunity, since they finally are in a position where Kel'Thas is going to do all of his damage. Of course, quite unfortunate that he died at the exact same time, but still they got it now. And here comes even more damage from Uberim. So at this point we're seeing the Consume Vitality on Leoric that will give him additional sustain during the fights. We're having Lily going straight into the Serpent sidekick. I'm still a bit surprised that we have a full Serpent build on Lily. I expected her to go for Shake It Off in level 7 regardless, and for also the level 16 talent, which of course normally is Herbal Cleanse. She doesn't do that, but instead went full Serpent. Looking at damage, just to give you a bit of an idea, Lily is currently at 14,000. Here she has 19,000 heal. Another turn in for the blue team, and it looks like Tijaka and his boys are trying to try and go for Azmodan here. Oh, sneaky and successful at that. Yes, they go in, they get the kill, and that's something that Azmodan did not expect whatsoever. Very well done here. Great move, I like that. Talking about Azmodan, by the way, he is at 426 stacks, so of course that kill, bringing him down, costs them another 30 seconds with the stacking process, but he's already at more than 400, so he's solid when it comes to damage. Falstad is right now at 43 seasoned marksman stacks, so also a very solid position for him when it comes to damage, and I mean the timing of course couldn't be better. The Web Weavers are descending, and that's the time that they use to drop Azmodan with a very sneaky move on the map, and that allows them now to just take down the Web Weavers. Azmodan is the main damage dealer. Without him they can't move in, they can't do anything, but stuff like that is actually pretty cool. I like that. Juf is waiting on his Hearthstone card. Crisplosion is waiting over here. We're having Azmodan starting to rotate into the middle again. The important part now, of course, is that Azmodan gets the damage in, and also we need Kel'Thas with the same thing. Uberim is going for the quick poke and hits Falstad. No, look at how fast Falstad is dying here. He was at nearly a third of his hit points just after the impact on the Globe of Annihilation, and that didn't even account for the rest of the damage that was dished out by Kel'Thas. So Falstad is going to have a very dangerous life here, and probably Uther always in a position where he will drop the Divine Shield whenever he has to, but that's the problem that you're going to run into with Falstad here, and it's one of the reasons why I was a bit surprised to see that pick, because the damage that we are seeing on, if Kel'Thas and Uberim on his Azmodan hit Falstad with their skills together, he's going to be toast, and they know that. Here comes the first hit. Tidaka is actually trapped. Heals against Kreku, nearly dying, but not quite. They can get away, at least for now. Big fights here, actually. No deaths just yet, but Azmodan is isolated and dropped. He gets the damage in once again, but it's just not enough. Kreku, can he drop Blade? No. The double heal is still strong enough. And now the drop against... Yeah, this is Leoric going... No, wow, 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 just wow. I was already about to say he's going down, but he survives. Leoric moves back. They're trying to go for Blade and push them back for now. Waiting for Azmodan, of course, again. And Blade! Yes! The bird dies against Ignite. The bird is down, but the web weavers are still coming. So they got the turn in, and that was an important one. Making the turn in happen, that was worth quite a lot. But also getting the kill against Falset now allows them to fight in the map again. Entomb missing, but look at that damage here. 133,000 in siege damage on Azmodan. We have 38,000 and 33,000 for Kel'Thas and Azmodan in hero damage. And Falset has 32,000 and Jane has on 33,000. So very, very well done here. That's actually like a pretty cool game so far. I'm liking this a lot. So there is a lot of damage that we are seeing for both sides now. Very different strategies that we are seeing. The problem that really Puszek has is that Azmodan is getting killed too often. He died 3 times now, and that shouldn't happen. 2 of the times he got ganked. He was out on the map and he got a bit surprised. But also in the team fights, they move in against him and are trying to take him down. And he needs to move into the backline. He cannot really go for the all shall burn here. They're always diving him. They're diving him hard and for good reason. And again, they are sneaky. I like Meteor Maker's aggressive rotations. I really like those. That's one of the things that allows them to always take down a target and get an advantage. It's maybe a little bit unconventional, but I'm really liking the sneaky way that they try to use to get that lead. So we have them with a slightly different experience still, but of course these hits are starting to hurt a lot. Just checking if Azmodan already has his stacks up completely. Falset, by the way, is at 50 extra damage. 50 extra damage thanks to Seasoned Marksman. His auto attacks against tanks are now absolutely insane. And Azmodan is at 462 damage on his Globe of Annihilation. So he's not quite at 500 yet, but he is very close. The bot lane, well, that fort got dropped. We have nearly level 20 now. And level 20, oh god, Falset is going to be a menace. Leoric and the rest of them are already dreading that. Half HP gone on Blade just because of one globe. Gets healed out, of course, immediately. I mean, Malfurion went for Enduring Growth here. They only needed one hero to go for Cleanse, and that's it. And this is it. Nexus Frenzy, a great talent now for Falstad, and those tanks are going to be in quite some trouble. Hammer Time was the talent that was, by the way, taken on level 16 for him, in case you were curious. So, yeah, they're starting to really use Falstad at this point. But Falstad also has to be careful that he dodges those globes, because they do work, like, really well. But just wait until you see how much more damage Blade now dishes out now that he has level 20, because he is going to be... He's amazing against those 2 tanks. This is where Falstad really starts to shine now. The Red Web Weavers are descending again, and now we are in that late game. Any second now the level 20 talent is going to hit for the team. 1,400 damage on those globes, and there it is. Kung Fu Hustle being used for Lily. She's going to be great with this one. Azmodan is going for the Storm Shield. We have 1 blink on Kel'Thas. That's going to help a lot going for the Bolt of the Storm here. And I suppose that Leoric... Oh, wow. Hardened Shield being used. Okay. That's also an interesting one. Look at the damage. Blade with these auto attacks against Leoric. He's probably really happy that he went for the Wraith Walk talents, because he is going to need them. Yeah, they depush the bot lane, or, well, the bot lane actually depushes itself more or less. They depush the mid lane, and the top lane has now been depushed as well. Yeah, GoTerra needs to be super careful here on his Johanna. He has most of the gems for the team. That's 43 now. And they were able to deny the Web Weavers. So the keeps are still all alive. They're going in with those globes, and now, of course, the points or the numbers are going to be the most important here in the game. Right now, we're having 185,000 siege damage already on Azmodan, just showing how much he was able to push these waves back. In hero damage, it's still a 45,000 that we're seeing on Kel'Thas. Nice ice block on Malfurion. That was an important one. Blade rushes in, goes for the damage, and down goes Puszek. You can really tell at the stats down here how fast his siege damage got up. Great move also with now the attempt to go for a quick web blast against Lily to isolate maybe another hero and bring him down so that the healer can't do anything about it. But they had to move back again. Didn't take too much damage just yet. Good hit against Crisplosion. But so far it's still only 2 kills that we see for Puszek. So even though they are in the late game right now, they have not really been able to take anything down. Puszek is starting to push these lanes back even more. Another quick look at what exactly is going to happen with the stacking process there. Currently we have 500 stacks for Azmodan, and Falstad is at this point at 58. 58 seasoned marksman stacks. Okay, it's going to be pretty solid here as well. Falstad, by the way, at 41,000 damage now, 46 on the side of Jaina. This is the late game, and I have to give that composition of Meteor Makers a bit of credit. I did not expect this composition to do so well against the setup that we're seeing from Puszek in the later stages of the game. I still think that Puszek has an advantage here if they play it right, but I have to admit that the double healer composition with Falstad is doing, or is like able to just like play against this on eye level, and I did not really expect that. I really expected the late game, everything after level 16 and level 20 to completely wreck Meteor Maker's team composition here. So that stuff that they have, it works much better than I expected, and I kind of like that because that makes for a very interesting game here. It's actually a pretty cool thing to see. I love that. Falstad has the mobility on the map now that he can also use to just like get a bit more experience in the bot lane, and it's not so much about the experience but also just pushing the lane in. The turn-in attempt by Terror is trying to use it now, and Falstad is back to business, putting the damage onto Leoric and rushes away immediately. 60,000 damage and 50,000 damage now on the side of Khaldor and Azmodan. And yeah, once again, the team's dancing around the turn-in point here. That's what they're currently trying to do, especially GoTerra. I mean, like, he alone can simply turn in on his own, but he's always getting stunned out. But that also opens up a few targets for Azmodan. And, well, for example, this one is being hit quite hard. And there's also Khaldor. They have a lot of poke. That's the problem that Meteor Makers currently has, that the opponent has so much poke that sitting around this turn-in spot is helping Puszek much more than it is helping their opponents, because there's always the opportunity for Uberim to get another globe in. Khaldor with another quick attempt as well. Another good hit, even more damage for him. And Khaldor is going to hit another Flame Strike, and bam, there it is. Also one more Living Bomb applied to the Darker. Terror is trying to turn in again. Crisplosion actually rotating around right now, committing to this. Oh, blink away by Khaldor. Really good one. Phoenix in play. There comes the attack against Crisplosion. That Falstad Hinterland Blast did nearly not do anything. And we're having GoTerra moving away now. Puszek rooted down for a second. There's the Condemn Blade. Oh my god, the damage. But Juve on his Lily with Heroic, trying to keep them alive. But where is Azmodan? Way too far out. Is he going to get another globe in? There's already the Frostbolt blinking in for some reason. Divine Shield and Uberim is moving away. Lily is still trying to use her Kung Fu Hustle to keep the rest of the team alive, but Leoric is already dead. They can maybe get a counter kill against Babeta. Oh, missing the globe. Web Blast used, but Juve already out of Web Blast, trying to heal Terror, who's getting chased down by Azmodan, and they can move back at least for now. Yeah, Leoric is going to be back in just a bit. They didn't lose any of those gems. That globe is not hitting anything just now, but what a cool game at this point. Any mistake that you make could be your last. Damage-wise, 83,000 and 61,000 on the side of Khaldor and Azmodan, and they're turning in again. Nice hit against Crisplosion, really good one, and they have the Web Weavers this time. We're having, by the way, 62,000 for... Chris, where's Azmodan? Azmodan, he's getting the hit. Yes, there's the hit, and they kill Crisplosion. He should have redemption, though. He should have redemption, and yes, indeed he does. So with this, he is going to be alive once again, but they're moving up to the top, and of course now Uther is in a bit of trouble, since if he dies again, then he is going to be gone for good, at least for another 65 seconds. I'm really, really liking this late game here. This is pretty cool. And it must also be very draining for the players. I mean, just imagine, one miss move could be your last. Good flank, very good flank, but Falstad, is he too exposed? He might not be. He's going straight for his Heroic, but Lily does exactly the same thing. Ah, the kill against Khaldor. It looks like they have too much damage against single targets here. Great flank, great tactical move from Meteor Makers. They go for Azmodan, they drop him. He was trying to go for another Blackpool. Puszek is already rushing away on Leoric, but they lose Johanna, or they're about to lose her. He was trying to maybe isolate another target with a quick move on the Entomb. Johanna using Indestructible, rushes away. Blade, can he fly in maybe and take her down? They need to move back since the first keep is already gone, so Juve is on the run. Never chase Ilili. It's just not going to work the way that you expect it to. Remabola is taking her down then in the end, but they lost the first keep already, and most of these heroes should be back in time for the defense. Well, down to the bot lane, there was also an attempt to help this one, but the keep is down on half HP already. They still have every single keep for the opponent though. Every single keep is still there, and they're trying to go for boss, and that's a smart move. With 3 heroes still down, this is the best thing that you can do. GoTerra can't do anything about it. I mean, even if they do boss, what are you gonna do? You can't move in. Like, why are you even trying? Why are you even there? You can't steal it. It's not gonna work. It's a 5 versus 2. If you're lucky, it's a 5 versus 3. What is Puszek doing? This is suicidal. They might lose the game here. This is crazy. The tanks are moving in. There's Khaldor being stunned once, twice, Entomb saving him maybe. This is so stupid. I have no idea what they're doing. They lost Khaldor again. The boss is leashed for now, but they're gonna lose Johanna. This is... I have no words for this. This decision to go and try and contest boss is unbelievable in my opinion. They are going to lose the game right here because of it. Horrible decision. I cannot emphasize that enough. They lost 3 heroes for no reason whatsoever. Didn't accomplish anything. Lost 4 heroes. They're gonna lose everyone. Every single hero is dying. Puszek just threw the game. They had the first keep down. Yes, the boss would probably have dropped one as well. That was not an easy situation, but this was absolutely unnecessary. I have no idea what they were doing here. There was no reason to do that. We have 96 stacks now. They can use the stacks to turn in. They can make that happen. The boss is easily going to be taken. And they just played into the hands of Meteor Makers. Well, goodbye Leoric, he's back to business, and guess who's gonna die next? Yes, it's gonna be him. There's the stun, there's the attack, he might be able to kill Uther, maybe, but Leoric is gonna die again. Yeah, Blade is gonna take him down. What? Alright, then don't. Okay. False step, yeah, then don't take him down. Okay, if you don't want to take him down, then don't kill him. It's okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's fine. Alright. Huh. Well, 93,000 damage on Jay now. We have 90,000 damage on Falstad. And that boss is... I mean, with All-Shall Burn, they can take it out here. But now they have a move in the mid lane. It's actually kind of fascinating that they're not even pushing with the boss. And because there's a 5 versus 5 and they don't want to go for a potential kill on the keep here. But they will get the Web Weavers now. And this is, of course, going to put a lot of pressure in. But Azmodan can kill this with 1 globe. And the boss did not even go through the entire wall. So this is... I mean, this is a very interesting turn for this game, as I already just said. I can still not believe what just happened. And what I can't even believe less is that Meteor Makers did not use the opportunity to even take a keep. I mean, they got the boss, and what did they do? Nothing. It killed a tower. Congratulations. But they could have killed... If they just moved in, they could have killed the keep. So, that is very surprising. Like... Meteor Makers did what they had to do, but they did not exploit it the way that they could. And now Puszek is still in this. Puszek is as funny as it is. They are still in this. And this is crazy. I mean, the Web Weavers are pushing the mid lane. The Web Weavers are going to push top and mid bot too. But I don't think they're going to be able to kill a keep. At least not the Web Weavers themselves. So after all of this, it could be that Meteor Makers is actually still behind. Look at those damage numbers, by the way, that we are seeing. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. There's another hit down to the bot lane. Phoenix as well. This keep is fine. They are forcing, it's blunt forcing the mid keep. They're saying we have to do something, and they're going in to try and take this one. But there's a hit, missing again on the globe. Nice Entomb. The keep, by the way, is still there. Uberim, on the other hand, doesn't have another globe, but he goes for the All-Shall Burn, trying to put even more damage in, and is lasering, and Uberak away, gets stunned out. There's another globe. This one hitting, and hitting hard. But we have also Jaina moving over as Remabola thinking about blinking in, going for a blink kill. That would be kind of risking something. The keeps are still all there. They're still all there, which is insane. Another hit! And this one, again, a good one against T-Darker. If they at some point are able to drop one of the damage dealers, they can start to snowball it. And Mini Johanna's running away. That Shrink Ray definitely doing work. If Duke Nukem was in the game, he would just simply step on her and end her. But GoTerra is still alive. So it's 17 kills against 4. Just like saying, like in terms of kills, this has been a very one-sided game. 17 kills against 4, but still, it is Meet Your Makers who are behind, because that keep is down. So this lane is constantly pushing against them. What a game! This game is crazy. This is really crazy. I mean, we have now the top lane pushed again. Chrisplosion moves in at the front line for a good stun against Puszek. Blade on Falstad. Just once again, just look at those Falstad numbers. 97,000 damage by now. He's on eye level with Khaldor and with Johanna because he can apply the damage to the tanks all the time. That is this tank build that we've been talking about. It is insanely strong against tanks. You should not try and attack the back line with your auto attacks, but as long as you focus on the front line, you put so much pressure on them that they are just constantly on the run. Another turn-in attempt here by Ramaballer. They're not going to get another Web Weaver set just yet. We have 20, by the way, for the blue team. So it's not like they could turn in either, but still, this is getting very, very close. We're 32 minutes in, by the way. 32 minutes into the game, and still the wave's taken. The problem is that even those siege giant camps, they are not really doing a lot because Azmodan can just simply throw another orb in and that's going to be it for the camp. It's not gonna die completely, but well, it takes 2 of those globes and that's it. So yeah, they can really deep push these lanes quite easily. Nearly level 25. We couldn't see level 30 in this game, I suppose. This is like the never-ending story. This is going to be it's going to be very, very interesting. But well, as I said, the keep is down. If they can take another one, that's all that they have to do. And if we see a good... Let's just imagine we have a good Phoenix with a Flame Strike and 1 Globe of Annihilation hitting, right? If that hits Falstad, he's dead. Unless the Divine Shield hits fast enough, he is going to die to this. Already good hits against those camps over here. These are not going to be able to do too much. Wraith Walk used by Leoric to move away. It's in cooldown. He has to be careful. Especially Azmodan has, of course, to watch his positioning because they are jumping him a lot. What I like about Meet Your Makers, I have to emphasize that again. I really think that they made a bit of a misplay when they did after the team wipe over here, not go straight for at least keep. But what I really like about their play is that they always flank their opponents. I mean, the whole entire advantage that they... Uh-oh! There's Falstad! The Divine Shield. Alright, so they get him. they save him. His team saves him. Lily with the heroic. Leoric is trying to get away there. Uberim! And the... Nope. No hit. No 3 points. But yeah, the flanks. When the whole idea about the flank up here was they came in from down here, moved in, and completely cut off their path of retreat. And they put the squishies to the wall. Kreku had no way to run in this case. So that was exactly what they needed to do, and I really liked that about Meet Your Makers. Their rotations on the map and their willingness to just flank and try to go for a bit of an unconventional attack path is something that I really enjoy. It's very cool to see, and it's so far also quite successful for them. The problem is that the keeps are starting to get rather low. This one is still on nearly full HP, but the one down here suffered a lot of damage already. And we are seeing another attempt to turn in now. It's not too many gems that they have, but they are slowly making their way towards the next Web Weaver wave, and that is, of course, going to become a problem at some point. Right now, we're seeing T-Darker with the rest of the team still trying to turn in. They actually have the gems that they need. They got enough. And, well, T-Darker, Puszek, gets healed, alright. So he stays alive. And here comes another attempt. Where's Azmodan? There's a Flame Strike. That hurts already. That Entomb doesn't really have a very high cooldown, so it's all fine. Damage-wise, the top damage dealer in the game is Khaldor with 114,000, followed by Falstad on 106,000. And in in siege damage is 300,000 for Azmodan. 300,000! What? Wow, the heals, by the way, look at the heals. Like, especially, oh, look at Leoric, roll, damage taken, 200,000. Heal on Lily, 92,000. Heal on Uther, 107,000. Malfurion, 130,000. What on earth? Like, this is absolutely insane. Again, up here, we have another fight about to start. And it's all about the web weavers. It's all about the web weavers. And look at Titaka. Sneaky Titaka trying to get the turn in. And another web weaver set. And they're probably just like, wait, what? Where have they been? And again, the positioning on Azmodan. Again, the Azmodan positioning. They try to go for him from the side with the double stun. Chris is actually really low. Chris Explosion is super low. But here's the kill against Azmodan. He tries to get the damage in against Rema Baller. And he's able to do that. But now the web weavers are there. It's one kill. Indestructible already procced on Johanna. She's trying to run away. Gets rooted down. And Johanna is dead. This could be game. 2 heroes down. A 5 versus 3 with the web weavers moving in. This is the chance that Meteor Makers was waiting for. This is the opportunity they were hoping for. And they're trying to rush in. And the only thing that Puszek team can do right now is try and buy time. They are buying time. They're trying to, again, the stun against Leoric. Lili is there. Juf is doing whatever he can with the Kung Fu Hustle to keep his buddy alive. Of course, it is the Phoenix zoning them out as well. But they are playing a very patient game now. They will kill the keep. The only question is, what else can they do? Can they take the core? Can they take another keep? The first one is down and they're moving for the second. Another 14 seconds until Azmodan is back. We are 37 minutes into the game. They're trying to go for core, aren't they? Puszek on his Leoric, moving away. Lili web blasted. Leoric is also getting attacked. They're about to drop him. Leoric is down. They go for keep. The web weavers there. Azmodan with a good hit, a very good hit, but I'm not sure if it matters. I'm not sure if they can save this one. It doesn't look like it. This is going to be Meteor Makers. Divine Shield saving full stat, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna be maybe, no, what? Anubarak, 1%, it's down, the core's down. They win the game, GG, and Meteor Makers advances to the next round. Oh my god. What a game, what a game. A sick game between Puszek and Meteor Makers. This game was so good. I mean, Azmodan gets his 500 stacks together. Khaldor goes into the late game and has everything that he needs there. And Meteor Makers, they win the game. There were a couple of decisions that I didn't really understand that Puszek team made there. Especially, of course, at the throw pit when they were trying to contest with only a few heroes and lost their entire setup then in the end. But at this point, the game was already like absolutely awesome. Falstad getting so much damage in. I mean, he was one of the main damage dealers in the game. Even more damage at some points than Khaldor, which is really something. And of course, he was able to put so much pressure on these two tanks that it was very difficult for the front line of Puszek to stay alive. So great match here by both of the teams, but Puszek able to win the game in the end. And that looked for a long time like it would go on forever. We nearly had a 40-minute game here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. That's like the second time in just 2 weeks that happened, but this game was brilliant. I'm really loving it. And I really love how Meteor Makers also rotates on the map. A lot of the kills that they got, especially against Azmodan, were just because they snuck around somewhere, they were able to move in and came from behind against Azmodan with 5 or 4 heroes. They just completely surprised him and took him out. And I really like the way that they are playing this. It's sometimes a bit risky, but it really pays off for them in the end as well. So great game by Meteor Makers. They advance in the tournament. They reach the finals now. We're gonna find out who is going to take the tournament final, of course. But first of all, this game here, a pretty solid performance by both of them. I hope that you enjoyed the game as well. I had a blast casting it. I mean, this game was awesome. And well, if you did, then give the video a thumbs up on YouTube. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, then make sure to hit that sub button. I'm going to see you guys next time with more Heroes of the Storm content here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day. Bye-bye.